Hey guys, welcome back to another video of my series. And as you know, it's been I think over 2 days or 48 hours of where I am right now in India after the fight of Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier, which was probably the most hyped up event in this year I guess. So leading up to the fight was basically, this is the third fight for those who don't know or are watching it for the first time or knowing about it for the first time. This was the third fight, the trilogy event. The first fight took place in 2014 or 13. I'm not sure about it, but it was long ago when both of them were relatively new to the sport, and at that moment Conor knocked Dustin out, and then I think Conor went on to become the champion and the double champ, and then he did whatever he had to. But on the other hand, Dustin went on, kept on working hard. You know, hence his name is Diamond, because he basically Diamond are created in pressure, right? And he basically took all the pressure, worked hard for all these years, preparing. Because inevitably he knew someday he's going to face him again, and that's what happened. Back in January 2021 of this year, the fight took place in Abu Dhabi, and as we all know, Conor McGregor got knocked out in the second round. And the issue in that fight was basically Conor was out striking and out like landing pretty amazing bombs on Dustin's face, and he was getting out hit, and he was using his crisp boxing to outstrike Dustin and whatever, and he was basically he won the first round. But the one thing that he didn't, I would say, foresee was the leg kicks. This is an MMA fight. It's not a boxing fight, right? You can't just think that your opponent is just gonna try and bang with you. I mean, yeah, that's what it is. But MMA is mixed martial arts, right? So you have to use your legs, your elbows, your clinching, your grappling, your stand up, submission game, wrestling. It's mixed. But Conor came in with one single dimension, like a boxing approach, and it was disastrous because what happened was Dustin kept chopping at his legs. He used the lead left calf kick and the calf kick basically cut. So he used the calf kick on Conor a lot and chopped his leg down until in the second round, Conor basically his legs, which was so dead by the beginning of the second round, couldn't hold his body weight, and so basically he was fighting on one foot. And when the time came to move from your rear foot and this dodge and this bob and weave, he couldn't. And when he tried to engage in fist fighting boxing with Dustin basically threw some bombs, and then it looks like he went for a takedown, or maybe his leg went limp, so he basically went down and he got hit on the jaw and he fell down. That was the end of the fight. So that was a disastrous, and I didn't expect Dustin Poirier to knock Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor is the kind of guy who's tapped out, but he's never been knocked out, and that was surprising for all of us. And Dustin Poirier avenged the loss, and that whole fight was amazing because Conor, we saw a new side to Conor, like humble and really sweet and a good side, and he was humble after defeat as well, and that led to the third fight. And in the third fight was basically, we saw Conor win the first round against Dustin Poirier. He's knocked Dustin Poirier out in the past. So the third fight, maybe he comes back, he learns how to, defend leg kicks, he checks on his mistakes, and then if he does rectify his mistakes, so we saw what he did in the second fight as well. He was landing good bombs. So if he rectifies those mistakes, maybe he can win again. Maybe he knocks Dustin Poirier out the third time. So after January, the whole thing is that Conor McGregor is training really hard, and one thing that affected his loss, that maybe was the main reason he lost, was his stance. The whole fight he was in his boxing stance, puts a lot of weight and pressure on your lead foot, because boxers, the stance is when you bend a bit. So and his old stance was a karate stance, which is a wide leg stance, which is fluid and smooth. And this was not Conor. He became what he always said. He became stuck in the mud. That's what he told people, that you're stuck in the mud. And that's what he became in the fight. But third fight, I saw training clips of him in Abu Dhabi and training in Dubai, and he looked fluid, and the karate Conor was back. Third fight, let's break it down. So this time Conor is he's angry, and he's we see glimpses of the old Conor back, but let's be honest. As I'm like a die-hard Conor fan, I was on with Conor throughout, and I'll always be on his side. But the point is that this time it looked fake. It looked like Conor was trying too hard to be like his former self. But that was someone who comes once in a lifetime, and that Conor was special. I mean, we might never see that Conor again. And whatever he said back in those days was natural. It came naturally out of him. But this time it was forced. Even his trash talk was bad, and it wasn't even funny. And Dustin Poirier, perhaps this time, he saw through the shit. He was like, this is not Conor, and it didn't even work this time because he was already nice to him in the second fight. So why is he so brash again? And it didn't work. Dustin Poirier was calm and cool as a cucumber. So that happened, and the weigh-ins happened, and he tells that he's gonna kill Dustin, and Dustin's gonna leave on a stretcher. He said that repeatedly. I was sorry, I can't even speak. He said that repeatedly. God, he said that repeatedly on many interviews that he's gonna leave on a stretcher. Dustin's gonna leave on a stretcher, but we saw what happened, right? Let me break it down for you. This was the Psycho Conor versus calm Dustin. And he said things about Dustin's wife. Anyway, the fight begins, and we see Conor do the belly strut, and which he didn't in the last two fights. He was pretty humble about it. This time we saw he's back, and the fight starts, and he is back. We see the karate Conor stance. He's hopping around, and this time, as I predicted, as I knew, this time he's going to throw leg kicks on Dustin, because when Dustin fought Justin Gaethje, there was like a moment when Justin Gaethje almost like broke or snapped Dustin Poirier's foot because of the leg kicks. So I kind of knew that Conor McGregor is going to use the leg kicks against Dustin. Dustin was basically getting hit by leg kicks, and Conor was moving in and out, and then there was a leg kick that Dustin checked in the first round. Like, it was a one-round fight, but only in the first round, and then he started like Conor tried to throw heavy punches, but they all missed, and then Dustin basically hit him with a 1-2, and Conor got hit. So Dustin charged again to hit him again, and Conor was getting hit, and then Conor engaged in a clinch, or it was Dustin who engaged. It looked like Conor engaged in a clinch, and then basically Dustin pushed him towards the fence, and then Conor's back was against the fence. They were standing in a clinch, and I don't know why Conor thought it's a good idea to go for a guillotine choke against one of the best guillotine grapplers in MMA. By the way, Dustin is a black belt. His grappling game is superior compared to Conor, at least. So he goes for the guillotine, which, if in other circumstances, would have worked, but not in this time because of the position he was in. And by the way, you're not good on the ground. Why would you do that? Because a guillotine, basically, when you're doing a guillotine, you're on the bottom of the person, and the person will push you down on the floor. So you're at the bottom, and if you're not a good bottom fighter, then it's a bad position, man. So Conor goes down at the bottom, and he's trying to choke him out with the guillotine choke. But the bad position is that Dustin was close to the fence, and if he was on the center, a little distance from the fence, maybe he would have been caught, maybe not. But this time he was close to the fence, and he used his foot to push himself, basically rotate around the fence, and he got out of it. And then basically what he did was, I've used basically 10,000 times, sorry. But what he did was, he mauled Conor. He did what Khabib did to him in round 2. He started punching, landing shots, landing bombs. Agreed, most of them didn't land. But in my books, in the judges' books, Dustin was winning the round. He was landing big shots, and Conor was hitting him as well. And after doing that for a lot of time, Conor held his glove and tried to kick him in the face, which was a cheap move by Conor. But Dustin also did a cheap tactic by putting his toes through the fence. It happens in MMA, it's fine. No, most fighters were fair. And there's this millisecond where, like half a second, where Dustin looks at Herb Dean and complains that this guy's cheating, and Conor sees an opening and stands up instantly, throws a teep leg kick, his infamous teep leg kick where he hits the person in the belly, and that he used against Chad Mendes a lot. And instantly after that, he moves back and tries to throw his left hand, and he snaps his foot. He snaps his ankle, and you can see the pain on his face, and he just drops. But when I watched the fight, I thought that because both of them threw punches at the same time, I thought Conor missed, then Dustin hit, and that's what caused him to fall, get knocked down. And then Dustin unleashed a barrage of punches, and the round ended. And I thought, okay, round 1 was pathetic, but round 2 we can move on from that. Turns out he broke his foot. He bloody hell, he broke his ankle, and it was a freak accident, horrific, and the fight ended there. And then Conor went on, but then that's what happened, and then Dustin won. That was the end of it. Now my thing is that I don't see how Conor comes back from this. My honest opinion is that if he wants to come back seriously and become a champion, he needs to change gyms. He cannot train at a gym as BG, where he's usually trained. Where he trains was like that has only one star athlete on their roster, and that's Conor. Without Conor, I've never heard of any SBG fighter who's made it through the UFC ranks. It was only Conor that had the pure talent. I think he needs to move on to a gym that would beat his ass, like TriStar or Jackson Rink, or one of those gyms that push him to the limit. And the head coach, need to be more diverse. I think more well equipped to the fact that Conor is a big star and he was going to do what he wants to do throughout the camp. But no, the new coach or the new camp should basically tell him that you do what we ask you to do, or just get out of the gym, right? And that needs to happen with Conor, because he's too complacent now. He's got all the money, and I'm sure he trained really hard. I'm not saying he didn't, but I don't know. There were times, when Conor would never get hit. He was so fluid that it was like a puzzle, and he would try to feint, and he would get you. He was so accurate, but he wasn't. He's just missing shots in the third fight as well, and the leg kicks were doing the damage, whatever. But he's not crisp like he was. Also, I think it's high time that he gets Ido Portal back in his camp. Ido Portal was the main reason Conor was so fluid. The touch bar thing, what he did in the park, that worked a lot. I think he needs to get Ido Portal back. Honestly, I don't even know if he's gonna come back, because he's out until January. He's got a medical suspension, and Dustin's gonna fight Charles, and then maybe he did it for the 4th time. But I don't see how he beats Dustin again if he's going with the same approach. And he was getting hit in this 3rd fight. Dustin kept engaging, so I don't know how to play it out. But who knows, dude? And I've always rooted for Conor. I always will root for Conor because he is my favorite fighter. But it's just disappointing. It's upsetting that a fighter who was once at the top, he's just like, I don't know. I think he wasted too much time after the Alvarez fight. He should have got right back into it within a year. He just disappeared. I don't know. Maybe it's a rust. You can say it's ring rust or whatever. I don't know. So guys, if you like this video, this was my breakdown of the McGregor versus Poirier 3. If you like more MMA videos, I will continue to post them on my channel. So thank you so much for watching the video, and appreciate the views as always. Thank you so much. Have a nice day, and thanks for watching.